The call came in just after midnight. A woman's voice, shaking, barely able to form words. She said she hadn't seen her husband in 2 days. At first, police assumed it was another routine missing adult case. Arguments happen. People leave. Adults disappear by choice all the time. But this case would soon prove that sometimes, the truth is far darker than investigators are prepared for. The town was small, quiet, and deeply trusting. A place where everyone knew each other's names and routines. Where crime felt distant, like something that only happened on television. The missing man was known as reliable. A father. A coworker who never missed a shift. A man who always answered his phone. Until suddenly he didn't. Detectives began retracing his final known movements. Security cameras showed him entering his apartment building on a Friday evening. He never came out. His car remained parked. His wallet, keys, and phone were still inside his apartment. It was as if he had simply vanished into the walls. When officers entered the apartment, nothing looked disturbed. No broken furniture. No blood. No signs of a struggle. But something felt wrong. The air was heavy. Silent. Almost staged. One detective later said the scene felt too clean, like someone wanted it to look normal. The investigation stalled for days. Friends were questioned. Coworkers interviewed. Everyone said the same thing. He had no enemies. No dangerous lifestyle. No reason to disappear. That's when police decided to widen their search and speak with neighbors.
One neighbor stood out, a quiet man who lived directly across the hall. He claimed he barely knew the missing man, said they exchanged polite nods, nothing more. But surveillance footage told a different story. Cameras showed the two men entering the apartment building together on the night of the disappearance. Only one was ever seen again. When questioned a second time, the neighbor's story changed. Small details shifted. Times didn't match. His calm tone felt rehearsed. Detectives noticed scratches on his arms. He said it was from his cat. But there was no cat in the apartment. Police requested a search warrant. Inside the neighbor's apartment, they discovered something deeply unsettling. Cleaning supplies everywhere. Trash bags stacked neatly. The smell of bleach hung in the air so strongly it burned the eyes. In the bathroom, officers noticed the drain had recently been dismantled and reassembled. When they opened the pipes, traces of blood were found. The suspect was taken into custody immediately. Police requested a search warrant. During interrogation, he sat perfectly still. No shaking hands, no heavy breathing, just long pauses. When detectives confronted him with the evidence, he stared at the table and said quietly, "I didn't mean for it to go that far." That was the first crack. What followed was a confession that left investigators speechless. A minor argument in the hallway, a push, a fall, panic, and then a decision that could never be undone. Instead of calling for help, the suspect chose to cover it up. Over the course of 2 nights, he dismembered the body inside the apartment, carefully removing evidence piece by piece. Investigators later said the level of control was terrifying. This was not someone acting purely on impulse. This was someone who could compartmentalize horror. Someone who could sleep, eat, and smile while hiding a secret no human should ever carry. When the case went to trial, the courtroom was silent as details were revealed. Jurors struggled to maintain composure. Family members wept. The defense argued panic. The prosecution argued choice. And in the end, the jury agreed. The suspect was sentenced to life in prison. But even after the verdict, the case left scars. Residents moved away. The apartment building was renovated. New paint, new doors, new tenants. Yet people say the hallway still feels cold, like something unseen remains. This case is a reminder that danger doesn't always come from strangers in dark alleys. Sometimes it lives across the hall. Sometimes it speaks softly. And sometimes it waits for a moment so small. It changes everything forever. Because in the world of real crime, the most terrifying monsters don't look like monsters at all. They look normal,